MIYAMOTO Musashi. I respect the gods and Buddha, but do not rely on them. Prologue. The Undefeated Swordsman. Miyamoto Musashi is known as a master swordsman in Japan, and the founder of the Naiten Ichi Ryu school. He won numerous duels without ever tasting defeat, and his fame spread far and wide. Musashi reached the pinnacle of swordsmanship through his exceptional talent and relentless effort, always valuing his own strength and training throughout his journey. The meaning of the phrase, "I respect the gods and Buddha but do not rely on them," means to honor the gods and Buddha, but not to entrust one's fate or success to them, instead achieving it through one's own effort and skill. Musashi imbued this phrase with the importance of self-discipline and the independence needed to carve out one's destiny. Training in his youth. Miyamoto Musashi underwent rigorous training from a young age. Influenced by his father, he spent his days immersed in sword practice. He engaged in many duels with other swordsmen, honing his skills through repeated victories. The battle at Sakuriyashi-ki. One day, Musashi was challenged by a formidable opponent, a swordsman feared by many. The duel was set to take place at Sakuriyashi-ki. On his way there, Musashi calmed his mind and did not pray to the gods or Buddha. Instead, he focused on refining his mind and body, trusting in the results of his training. The resolve to fight. Upon arriving at Sakuriyashi-ki, Musashi did not pray to the gods but questioned his own heart. "I respect the gods and Buddha but do not rely on them." He engraved this phrase in his heart and faced the swordsman. He was acutely aware that victory or defeat would be determined not by the gods, but by his own skill and effort. The courage to face challenges. As the duel began, Musashi used his calm judgment and exceptional swordsmanship to anticipate his opponent's moves and strike the next blow. Seizing a momentary opening, he successfully defeated his opponent. This victory was the result of Musashi's reliance on his own strength rather than the gods. The Independent Swordsman. Musashi continued to experience many battles, consistently adhering to the belief of not relying on the gods but carving out his path with his own strength. He trusted in the results of his training and walked his path without seeking divine protection. Teachings in his later years. In his later years, Musashi continued to impart his teachings to his disciples. "I respect the gods and Buddha but do not rely on them," was a profound lesson that applied not only to swordsmanship, but to life itself. He taught his disciples the importance of relentless effort and self-discipline in forging their own paths. The birth of the Book of Five Rings. In his later years, Musashi, at the request of many swordsmen and seekers, finally compiled his martial arts and philosophy into the Book of Five Rings. In this book, his belief in "I respect the gods and Buddha but do not rely on them" is recorded as a guide not only for swordsmanship, but for living. This teaching fostered a strong spirit to survive the turbulent Sengoku period and was passed down to future generations. His final days. Musashi's life was filled with numerous battles and victories over many enemies, but he spent his later years in a quiet countryside, enjoying fulfilling times with those who inherited his teachings. His heart always held humility and the spirit of self-discipline. Conclusion. Miyamoto Musashi's phrase, "I respect the gods and Buddha but do not rely on them," embodies the importance of self-discipline and the strong will to carve out one's path with one's own strength. Throughout his life, he overcame many battles and trials, steadfastly adhering to this belief. His teachings, passed down through the Book of Five Rings, continue to influence many people today. This story teaches us the importance of believing in our own strength and maintaining an independent spirit, especially when facing difficulties. Thank you for reading. I hope this story helps you understand Miyamoto Musashi's beliefs and their historical background. May you continue to learn from history and live fulfilling days ahead.